Aloha, my fellow Unities. Welcome to our end of days, and that's a DAZE. Feeling really good, you guys. Feeling really good today. Didn't want to rant. Just kind of wanted to get into a deep dive, and so I'm just going to kind of get into it. Um, I think it's the right word, but I've been playing around with the cosmology of the whole story, and just as a side note, as always, this is raw and unedited. Not going to edit it. I don't even know if I could if I wanted to anyway. And if people come up and talk with us, I'll try to keep rolling. And so we'll just kind of see what happens there. But with that said, I want to get to what I really wanted to talk about, and it's this. It's about the unities, you guys. Like, this story has so much power. This has so much power, and it's just like it's coming through me. It's giving me fire, like, to live. Like, I've been like, so much of me using drugs and everything in the first place, you guys, was because I felt dead inside. And I think a lot of us have. And this creative aspect of me has been wanting to come through for a long time. My birth family would probably maybe tell you, to some degree, just I've been a sorry sack, you guys. I've been resentful, hated the world, really hated the world. At the same time, loving the real world. Like, that's what's so crazy to be able to explain, which I can't really do. And either you feel it with me or you don't, I guess, is like the best way to say it. And so I just wanted to get into this, the cosmology. Um, and so I'm just going to kind of throw it out there, and I'll refine it more as time goes on. But anyway, we're souls, right? And so as souls, we are a unity, comprised of, like, the masculine and the feminine, a polarity which creates like a toroidal field. And so we exist, all right? And through some, and so previously, on the other side, it's on my backpack, so I'm working with things, and I guess it's top heavy or something. So that's worse. Is that better? Yeah, slightly. So, on the other side, all we knew was this pure unity, loving each other, caring about each other, basically living within the principles of what it means to be a unity. And something happened, and I like to think it was innocent, where there was individual unities out there that were explorers, and so they began exploring, whether it was a concept, a place, it doesn't matter. They were exploring, and what would usually happen is they would explore, and then they would come back and then share with the greater unity what they had explored, and it would expand our understanding as an entire unity. And what ended up happening was there was an exploring, and the explorers from that one exploration did not return. And so, and it wasn't necessarily uncommon, I feel like, but there was rescue teams. And so those were assigned to go look for the exploratory unities that didn't come back. But then they didn't come back either. And so, like, a decision was made within the entire unity to, like, the greater unity, to do something. And so more or less it was like volunteers were called. And so these volunteers were like, all right, if you feel called to it, if you want to search for the lost the lost explorers and the lost unities out there, you go ahead and volunteer. And so drawing also from other scripture, you could say, a third of the unity decided to volunteer to look for the lost unities. And after that point, after those volunteers were left the unity to go find these explorers, and the other ones who were lost, it was quarantined. Like, the area, this place of exploration was quarantined, and no one else is allowed to come or can be sent. And so this is it. And so that is what Earth is. Earth is on this side of the quarantine, and it explains why we experience what we do. And so, being part of the unity, the real unity, what this really means is that we are creators, and that through our relationship within ourselves, right, through the masculine and the feminine, through the individual and the collective, through the concept of unity, is how we express ourselves, and then how we create our reality, in a very real way and in a very metaphorical way. So, this is what I'm talking about, and so that's the premise there. I believe that we can all return to the greater unity someday, but it is something which is going to take time, and I'm talking more than a lifetime. Okay, now hopefully it's by the end of my lifetime here on this incarnation, but I don't know for sure, and honestly, it's not about that anyway. It's really not about that particular avenue. It's about eventually it's possible. And so this is what I mean when I talk about these things. The reason that the unities were not able to return is because they became enmeshed and involved in a deception, which caused the unities to become fell, and they become the fell unities. Now, in this expression, it is like a perversion, and I mean this just, I guess, in a literal way, where the unities were able to express themselves as unities still, but it was through coercion, it was through manipulation, in themselves with each other, and the only way to really do this was through self-deception, deceiving ourselves, deceiving each other, and in this deception, we were able to propagate the fell unity. And so, getting out of that became harder and harder. I believe that certain aspects of us, volunteers, rescue support teams, even the explorers themselves, we all carried aspects of the true unity. And so, just over time, things seemed to be getting more intense, and it was harder for us to get back in touch with this. And I don't believe anybody else was sent. That's not the purpose of this. But there were particular unities, particular souls who devoted themselves to finding a solution. And this is what the example, like if we're now jumping cosmologies, right? And we're going through like the Christian religion, okay? But this goes for other religions too. All right, the same thing happens here, where there's an example of a human being, a unity of someone who has transcended their ability, or that they have dropped, using my cosmology, they have dropped the fell unity and have become risen, have become rose, the rose unity. All right, and it is that which we are all aiming for, which they're showing is an example of what it means to be human, what it means to be a unity truly. And so in the example of Christianity, right, this would seem blasphemous to many Christians, and I understand that, but I believe that without this, it actually diminishes the story of Christianity. When Christ becomes more than a man, if Christ becomes this pure example of God who never fell, who never experienced the fell unity, that, I believe, is a sin. I believe that it creates a separation between ourselves. All right, it creates this example where it's just like, well, of course, Christ was a risen unity because he never fell. All right, he was this perfect example, and nothing ever happened, and he took on our sins, and he bled for us, and what a martyr, right? Which is another story. And we gotta just run with the sounds, you guys. Nothing much I can do about it. In the park, obviously, by the street. So I'll try to keep talking, but this motorcyclist, he's pretty close, and I already know he's going to gun it here in a second. So I guess I'll just keep talking for now. Or will I? Okay, I think he's far enough now. So as I was saying, to me, knowing that Christ was a man who experienced the fell unity, all right, who truly fell and became risen and rose, all right, that to me inspires me so much more than this immaculate, perfect example, which I can't identify with. All right, like to me, that totally. This is what I've been so upset with Christianity about, is because it makes the example unreachable, and it turns the very method of our freedom into the method of our enslavement. See, confirmation beat, you guys. And this is why I've wrestled with Christianity in a very large way, where it's just like there's a beautiful, wonderful story within it. But when we take it literally, and then when we interpret it from other people's perspectives who are part of the fell unity, they are going to twist the story in a way where it makes it a self-deception. It makes the example of Christ, which is supposed to be this an example of what we can become, what we are meant to be. We are meant to be risen. We are meant to rise. We are meant to be rose. All right? We are meant to be. All right? I say it's inevitable. And that's what's so beautiful about that particular story as well, is that if you want to, even twisting the story in that way, even if then Jesus is the whole unity, right? The collective unity made manifest, all right? What happens, right? He or she or whatever took on all of the sins of everybody then, okay? So really became the fell unity, went through every single thing, all right? And rose. So that means we're all risen. That means we all have that, okay? That means that that's there for us if we choose it, okay? That's what that means. And I have to, and that's the only way that I can get behind or participate in any kind of Christian theology, is how I've explained it right here, where it becomes an example of both folds, where it's a man who became a rose unity, an individual who ascended, all right, ascended from the fell, who rose. And that's what I want to be. That's what I want to become. And if he is an example of the entire unity, then that means we've already ascended. And all we need to do is choose to ascend. All we need to do is choose to rise. All right? To be rose. To not be fell anymore. All right? Like that's the beauty in all of this. And so that's that. So we'll leave it at that for today. You know, I'm trying to keep these within 10, 15 minutes. Shorter deep dives if I can, make it a little more palpable, right? 13:34 on the clock when I said that, right? Lining stuff up. So yeah, you guys, if you like it, thank you. Give me likes. All right. This feels like an idea and a story which time has come, you guys. Like this time has come, and I'm feeling just the fire within this. All right, and to me, this particular story is something which can be applied to any religion. So it's kind of like Buddhism in a way, where it's not necessarily a religion. It's like a practice, all right? Authorship, self-authorship, all right? Because I'm taking the story and I'm running with it, all right? So we'll leave it at that. Hello?
Hello.
One continuous stream, guys, just like life. So we'll leave it at that, all right? And I'll just, thank you for being here with me, guys. Like, we're doing this together. We're starting on the ground floor. We're doing this together. You feel it? So, okay, we'll leave it there. Peace out. Love within. And catch you guys on the rose side.